Today in this video, we're going to talk about what everybody ignores until they can't no more. Retirement. Well, boomers are starting to face this part of their lives, and the amount of money they have saved isn't quite matching the amount of time they've spent saving up. With some of them finding out that they'll never be able to fully retire, while others thought they had a solid plan, but yet still found themselves falling through, whether that's company bankruptcies or various certain reasons. And us young bucks, we'll be there before we know it. So, let's talk about it. If you're personally around this age in your life, or you just feel like you have any type of thoughts, opinions regarding this subject, feel free to leave your thoughts, opinions down below in the comments, and like and subscribe to see my daily videos regarding topics just like this. And I always like to start these videos off by giving a huge shout out to everybody who supports the channel around here, so feel free to check out those links down below in the description. And now let's begin today's shit show, shall we?
I had planned harder when I was younger, and if things had went better, I wouldn't be going to work this morning. I'd be going fishing, or I'd be going hunting. I mean, that's in my mind a lot, and I blame myself for it. We'll just go ahead and punch right in.
Tom Coomer is still working. He's 80 years old, a part-time greeter 5 days a week at Walmart.
How long have you worked here?
I'm going on 9 years.
9 years.
I'm only going to work 30.
Coomer is a kidder, but why he's still working is no joke.
When you got this job, you needed this job.
Yeah, you betcha I did. When you lose your retirement at a big place like McDonnell Douglas, you need a job.
In 1994, McDonnell Douglas closed its plant in nearby Tulsa. Coomer, a machinist, had worked there 29 years.
And all of a sudden, a loudspeaker come on, and it said, "Attention, McDonnell Douglas will close in 60 days." And I mean, we stopped and looked at each other and thought, what in the world? To me, that was just like you'd walked up and slapped me in the face.
Because all your plans...
All my dreams was just then going out the door.
He was 56 years old and 1 year shy of a full pension. Financially, the Coomers have never recovered. Over the years, they burned through retirement savings, downsized their house and lifestyle, but still have a mortgage they can never pay off.
Now, this story sort of hit close to home for me, because I personally witnessed my own father dealing with the same sort of situation while I was growing up. You see, my father was a printer, is what they called him, I think, and he made billboards and signs for big companies. Well, around the 2008 and 2010 recession, he got laid off from his comfy $100K a year job. I'm finally doing a nasty alcohol habit. I've actually explained my father's story a little bit furthermore in different videos, so feel free to go check that out if you want any more of that story. But this is the major reason why many Americans don't feel completely safe writing off one company anymore. It really doesn't matter if you work somewhere for 5 years or 55 years. There's really no company loyalty when you break it down. Also, the true stats are they found that you actually earn more when you jump jobs. Young adults are very hesitant to stay at certain positions for long periods of time, and when they do, they usually feel misused and underpaid, leading to a life of non-stop work that feels like suffering.
I'm almost 65. I started saving for my retirement in my late 20s. But along the way, I dipped into my nest egg, not once, but several times.
So this is my IRA and 401k, and which will be cleaned out over a certain amount of time. Right.
And now, like millions of other baby boomers, I too don't have enough.
The key to your retirement working out is having enough return on your assets.
Most of my savings went to pay for my kids' educations.
This is where fees would really hurt you badly. This is where fees would hurt you badly.
A divorce and the crash of 2008 didn't help either.
Well, it looks like my own personal fiscal cliff.
I'm now planning to work for as long as I possibly can.
So this whole plan is predicated on working full-time until 70.
Yes.
And at 70...
From age 70 to 75, I have you working part-time.
These days, many baby boomers are planning to delay their retirement. Some may never stop working. It's hard. Without knowing exactly how long you're going to live, it's difficult to guess how much you need to put away.
Now, this video also really hit home for me because I personally have people in my family who are reaching these ages, thinking they'll be able to retire here in a few years, when in reality, I would bet money that their finances would not actually allow that reality for them, leading to, again, either a part-time job for life, or a full-time employment still barely scraping by making ends meet. And when millennials alongside Gen Z continue seeing their elders suffer through this fate, no wonder many of them consider that completely opting out of the system at hand is a better odd. I mean, you work your whole life to one day be able to ride off your Social Security into the sunset, when for many this was never really a secure route to begin with.
I regard myself, Chris, as the greatest failure that ever walked the planet Earth.
Why?
Because I am. Because I didn't achieve the very basics. I'm the could have been man. Of course, it never dawned on me I'd get to this age and be practically penniless and not have a profession I should have, right? Or money. And I know in my heart I could have been top in certain things. And I wrote 2 plays which I'm very proud of, and they've been sitting there for 20 years. Because I've been alone all of my life. I'm psychologically alone since the age of 4. There's 9 million people in London, and I don't have a single friend.
Think about what this man just said. He's a could-have-been man. Now, if that doesn't just sit with you in your heart and your soul, I don't really know what does. Especially when I personally am standing in front of a fryer making minimum wage, or stocking an overloaded cart on shelves when I was thinking to myself about, I'm just capable of much more than this. Well, unfortunately, many believe this is the only reality possible for themselves. And I still try my best to believe that there's actually more to life than this. And hopefully through these videos I'll be able to find my own little path with that.
This is disgusting. Imagine your whole life getting a deduction out of your paycheck, and that money is supposed to go towards your retirement. Now it's not enough. And in 2024, they've only increased Social Security benefits 3.2%. That's not even keeping up with the cost of living. If baby boomers didn't have to put money into Social Security and they were able to put $500 a month away for 40 years at 8% interest into a Roth IRA, they'd have over $1.5 million, and they wouldn't have to rely on us to support them. And you know what's next for our generation? It's gonna be the 401k. They're gonna tax the crap out of us when we retire and draw from it. You cannot rely on Social Security or your 401k to retire anymore. Run the numbers yourself. Let me know in the comments below, what do you plan on relying on when you retire?
But yeah, if you personally feel like you have any thoughts, opinions regarding anything discussed in this video, feel free to leave those down below in the comments. I always like to read through those, and I always like to respond to the ones I see fit. And a huge shout out to everybody who checks those links down below in the description. Those are some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.